أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وإيمانا وفقها في الدين اللهم لا سهل إلا ما جعلته سهلا وتجعل الحزن إذا شئت سهلا يا رب العالمين. In our previous lesson we looked at the obligatory acts of ablution, right? Okay, and we said the obligatory act of ablutions are 7, right? What are they? An-niyya. Ghusl al-wajh. Yeah, niyya, that's the intention. Ghusl al-wajh, washing of the face, and also washing of the hands from the fingertips to what? To the elbow, meaning including the elbow, and then also
the face rubbing of the head.
Okay, and then also wiping off on the head or the hair from the hairline all the way to the backside, and then also wash ghusl al-rijlayn ila al and then also that's washing of the feet, and then the sixth one ad-dalku. Yeah, ad-dalku, that's rubbing. Okay, we said that you don't run water over the part. You have to rub to be called washing. You are commanded to wash, not to run water over them. Okay. Yeah. So that's ad-dalku, rubbing, and also we have the last one, al-fawr. Yeah, al-fawr. That's what continuation, or there should be continuity from one washing or from one part to the other till the end. So there should not be any interruption in the ablution or whilst performing ablution. So, and then there were some other things related to washing of related to the obligatory act of worship, which we did not mention. So that's if, let's say, a person performing ablution has a very thick beard, right? The person should what? It's not obligatory that the person run water or make sure that the water has touched the skin, right? That's the person with what? With a thick beard, right? But if you have what? Just some few hair, yeah, a few hair like mine, you know. So with that one, what do? You make sure that water touches what? The skin, right? So, but if you have a thick beard, you just rub water on it, and that's all. You don't have to pour water or wash it. Yeah. So that's it. So now let's move on to the Sunnah of wudu. So he said, wa amma sunan سنن الوضوء فثمانية, right? غسل اليدين أولا إلى الكوعين والمضمضة والاستنشاق والاستنثار وهو جذب الماء من الأنف ورد مسح الرأس ومسح الأذنين ظاهرهما وباطنهما وتجديد الماء لهما وترتيب فرائضه. So these are the 8 acts of ablution, the sunan, the recommended actions of ablution or acts of ablution. So so now what is the difference between the obligatory acts of ablution and then also the sunnah or the recommended act of ablution?
With the obligatory act of ablution, it's done, and if you ignore part of it, it renders your ablution invalid. Okay. But with the sunnah, even if you ignore part of it, it doesn't render the ablution invalid, but it's done to complete the ablution.
Yeah, so that's it. So can we say that when you wash only the obligatory, or you perform only the obligatory act of ablution, and you decide to leave the recommended acts of ablution, is your ablution valid?
Okay.
In the case can your ablution is not valid.
It's not valid. Okay.
Okay. It may depend on the situation as well.
On which situation are you talking about?
Maybe the water you're having is not enough, and it can only suffice for the obligatory aspects.
Then if you have such amount of water, you don't have to stress yourself washing what the obligatory part of ablution. No, you have to. Then you consider you don't have enough water, so you go for what? Tayammum. Right. So if you only have water that will suffice the obligatory act of ablution, then you don't have enough water. You don't have to use the water for cooking or for drinking or for your usage, and then use what go for what and perform tayammum. Right. So the difference between the obligatory act of ablution and the recommended or the sunnah act of ablution is that the obligatory, it's a must. You have to perform it. And when you leave any act of any obligatory act of ablution, your ablution is considered what? Null, invalid. Okay. But with the sunnah, with the recommended act of ablution, when you leave any of it forgetfully, I mean, your ablution is still what? It's still valid, but incomplete. You understand? So you can have what? A valid ablution, yet incomplete. But you can still use it to pray. But of course, this is not according to the sunnah. But so you have to perform ablution according to the sunnah, to perform it completely with the obligatory act of ablution, with the sunnah, and also with the fada'il, to have a complete and beautiful ablution with full reward of ablution. Yeah.
So you mentioned that if you do it forgetfully, what if you know like you've learned, so you know that these are the mass aspect and these are not the mass aspect.
Yeah.
So you choose to do the mass aspect and leave, not forgetfully, intentionally.
Yeah, when you
ablution.
Your ablution is still valid, but if you continue like that, it becomes sinful. Why? Because this is the path of the Prophet, and you choose not to follow, right? Because the Prophet said one of the recommended acts of ablution is madmada, that's rinsing out of the mouth, and also istinshaq, al-istinthar. It's also what? Inhaling of water into the nose, and also what? Exhaling it out of the nose. So here, this is what the Prophet said, إِذَا تَوَضَّأَ أَحَدُكُمْ فَلْيَتَمَضْمَضْ وَلْيَسْتَنْشِقْ وَلْيَسْتَنْثِرْ. So the Prophet has recommended that, right? So anyone who want to follow the path of the Prophet should know intentionally leave these act of ablution. Even though it's sunnah, it's not recommended, but that doesn't mean we should not perform it. You understand? But here, this is we are learning. We are reading the book, so we have to really understand it. So legally, when you perform only the obligatory aspect of ablution, legally your ablution is valid. You can use the ablution to pray. But ethically, we tell you that no, this is not a good manner, right? You have to come up, or you have to perform the recommended aspect and the sunnah, and also the fadail as well. You understand? To make your ablution complete and then beautiful. You understand?
So the answer you just give, that's all the ulama they all agree on.
Yeah. So now, here of course there are differences among scholars, but here this is this elementary level of fiqh, right? And we are all that we say is based on what the Maliki school of thought. You understand? Because I don't want to confuse you with other opinions from other schools, right? Okay. So now he said, "Amma sunan al-wudu fa thamaniyatun." There are 8, right? That's the sunan. So now we understand the difference between the fara'id and then the sunan, the obligatory act of ablution and the recommended, and also the sunan. So he said thamaniyatun. There are 8, right? غسل اليدين أولا إلى الكوعين, right? غسل اليدين إلى الكوعين. So here meaning washing the hands from here, from the fingertips to what? To the wrist, right? To the wrist. Is that clear?
Yeah.
That's washing the hands from what? From the fingertips to the wrist here, right? So you wash these hands. The first washing is what? Is obligatory, right? The first washing is also what? It's not obligatory. Washing the hands like that. But of course, we said washing the hands from here to what? To the elbow is what is obligatory. Okay, but washing it from the fingertips to what? To the wrist is what? Recommended, is Sunnah. Okay, so you wash it once or twice or thrice. Okay.
That one is recommended.
That's recommended. Right. And also, it's really important to wash, especially if you are using water container to perform ablution. Yeah, because you have to dip your hand in it, or you have to pour it in your hand. So if you pour in your hands and there's filth or there's impurity in it, what happens? It goes back to you. So you have to what? You have to wash before you dip your hand in a container, in the container, ablution container, okay?
So with regards to you performing ablution from a container that maybe you can't really, like it's just that the water is inside. You dip in your hand, is it good?
Yeah, of course, with the condition that the hand is clean. Yeah, if the hand is clean, no problem, you can dip in it. Fetch it and then wash the parts. Yeah. But don't dip the hand in a container or in a bucket with dirt or with impurity in the hand or on the hand. Is that clear?
So the same question, but in this manner, maybe you just finished showering and you're going to perform ablution from the bucket. Is it good?
It's good. Many people think that the bucket that we use to bath, you can't perform ablution, right? And it is not true. Yeah, that bucket, do you pour impurities there? No, you don't. It's water, yeah? Right? And the water you use in bathing, is it impure? Is it dirty water or something like that? No. It's a pure water and it's clean water. So you can use the same bucket to perform ablution.
So what if the remain of the bathroom? Can you still use it for ablution?
Yeah, here, if you have water that is unused, right? This you've already used it, left over. So if you have water unused, it's better you use that one. But if you don't have any water except that one, then there's no problem. You can still use it. So it's recommended that if you have different water that is unused, you want to use it. Yeah. But if you don't have, you can still use it.
So maybe in your washroom you have shower and there is a bucket door. You see that when you're bathing, the water is definitely going somehow. There'll be this kind of splashes that will definitely go back to the bucket. With that one and that's the only water you have left, maybe preserve it for ablution. Can you still use it? Because you bath and the splashes of water is
yeah, so it depends. Now, this drop of water this soapy water that has dropped in this water, you look at the quantity, right? The quantity, and then also the quantity of the water in the bucket. So if the water in the bucket is small, then you can't use it. Right? But if you fill the bucket and then just few drop, right, then the water is still clean. Do you get it?
No. But it change the color.
No, this cannot change the color. But if it has changed the color, of course, the water, you can't use it. Yeah. But if it has not changed the color, and then the water is more than the drop, it's still clean. Yeah, you can still use it for ablution. Okay.
So before you continue, you are performing ablution and the water the same, maybe from the pipe, and the water that maybe you used to clean yourself or performing ablution, the same water is maybe pouring in the buckets. And is it good?
No, you can't use that water to perform ablution. Yeah, you can't use that water to perform ablution. Yeah. So scholars consider, the water that we wash ourselves become what? Become impure, right? Any human being, any water that you use in performing ablution, this water, right? It's impure, right? Except the water used by the prophet and messengers. Yeah. Everything from them is what? Is pure. Even they use everything from a messenger or prophet is what? Is clean. That's why you can find the Sahabas collecting the water of the prophet when he's performing ablution. Yeah, understand. So it's pure, it's clean. Yeah. All right, now let's proceed. So he said, you first wash the hand. So washing from the fingertip here to the wrist is what? Is recommended, Sunnah, right? That's it. And then also, wal madmada. And also that is rinsing of what? Of the mouth, madmada, right? So you fill the mouth with water and then rinsing it. And also you can also use use your finger to make sure there's no any leftover from the food that you've eaten. Then you pour it. So you do that once or twice or thrice, right? It's part of the recommendation or the sunnah of ablution. And then we have istinshaq. So istinshaq, that's inhaling. To inhale water or to sniff in water into your nose, right? That is istinshaq. So you fill water in your palm, then you inhale it like this, then exhaling it or sniffing out is the istinthar. So istinshaq, and then that's istinshaq, and then istinthar is exhaling it out, sniffing it out. You get it? Yeah. All right, so that's it to inhale and also exhale. That istinshaq, then istinthar. Okay, but when you are fasting, you have to be careful because this is also you have to be careful so that the water don't get to your throat, right? So you don't exaggerate. But if you are not fasting, you can exaggerate in istinshaq and istinthar. There's no problem.
So it's possible it can break your fast.
Yeah. When you exaggerate and it's reached the truth, your fasting is invalid.
But you didn't exaggerate.
So you did not exaggerate. How did it get there?
It's mistake.
Yeah, if it's mistake, there's no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you exaggerate, then your ablution is right.
The fasting has beaten you, so.
No, you have to be strong. you have to be a strong believer. You don't. Yeah.
But sir, with regards to the sniffing of the water in and out, I wanted to ask: is it necessary for you to really sniff it in? Because sometimes myself, it's difficult.
Yeah.
So I do like this. I use the hand and make sure it enters and I'll sniff it sometimes. That's what I do.
Yeah, that's what you can do.
That's what you can do. If you sniff and you feel a little pain, like according to some ulama, I said, it gives the body strength.
I don't know.
But say, what about that one?
What?
Sometimes you see when you're sniffing too much, you're trying to make sure you do exactly how the prophet did. You end up sniffing too much and you realize that your eyes will become red and start feeling pain in your nose. So going to the second and the third one becomes very difficult. Yeah,
that's exaggeration. You've exaggerated. That's why you're feeling pain. So you do it in moderation.
so what if maybe he's trying to perform the sunnah well?
Yes.
But the sunnah did not say you should kill yourself. You should inhale and exhale, right? So you do it as you can, right? Don't exaggerate. I mean, of course, if I say don't exaggerate, I mean don't pour water in your. And the prophet did not say you should pour water in your nose. He did not say you should pour water you should pour water in the nose. No, inhale it, yeah. So inhale it to the extent. I mean, it washes the dust. The dust that you've inhaled in you. That you can find some dust here in the nose. So it cleans it, that's all. Right? Yeah, so don't, you do it in moderation. Right? Okay. And then...
So that's one point. Inhaling and exhaling.
Yeah, that's also... Yeah, inhaling, istinshaq, it's a sunnah. Exhaling, that's istinthar, it's also what? Sunnah.
Different points.
Yeah, different. So madmada, istinshaq, istinthar. That's 4. With ghusl al-yadayn.
No.
إلى الكوعين. Is it clear?
No.
ورد مسح الرأس ومسح الأذنين. So we said that wiping on the hair like this is what? Is fard, right? It's obligatory. But returning the hand back to what? To the forehead is what? Is sunnah. You get it? Like, rubbing of the hair is part of what? The obligatory act of what? Ablution, right? So you what? You rub it this way, starting from where? From the forehead or the hairline, all this to what? To the back side this way. Okay, that's the fard. But returning it back, it's what? It's sunnah. Do you get it? So you can do it this way and return it back. So you perform what? The fard and then the sunnah. Is it clear?
So in this case, we don't do the fadail.
The fadail, there's no fadail here.
But to beautify it, make sure water touches it.
Of course, you have to. That's why you don't have to. We said that when rubbing the head or the hair, you don't. 1/3 of the hair does not suffice. Like someone will just wet the hand and then do this way, thinking that he has rubbed the head. No, you have to make sure water has touched everywhere. So like this. No matter how, your head cannot be bigger than your hand. So your hand, like, you understand? So like that, you make sure water touches everywhere. So you wipe your hand on your hair like this. That's the fard, and then bringing it back is what? Is sunnah. Is that clear?
No.
Okay. So, and also mashu al-udhnayni, zahirihima wa batinihima. So that's also rubbing of what? Of the ear. So you use what? The index fingers like this. You wet it and then put it this way, like this. And then you use what? The thumb to what? To rub behind it. You get it?
So that means this will be cleaning inside.
Sure, yes. Right? You just don't have to put it this way and then remove it. No. Like this, you wet the fingers or the hand this way. Then you make sure what? You pass the finger all over the layers of the hair. You use what? This index, and then you use the thumb to what? To rub behind it. Is that clear? So you what? Mashu al-udhnayni zahirihima wa batinihima. Is that clear?
No.
Right. The inner part of it and also the outer part. Okay? And then also وتجديد الماء لهما. And also when you wipe on your head, right? Wiping this way is what? It's fard, and wiping back is what? Is sunnah. So after wiping the head, you don't use the same water to what? To rub the ear. You renew the water, meaning you wet your hands. You understand? وَتَجْدِيدِ لَهُمَا. So you renew or you wet your hands, then you use what? The index fingers to what? To rub the ears.
So what if maybe you do it and you do it that way?
Yes, there's no problem. But this is sunnah. If you renew it, it's better. You get it? But if you use the same water to do it, there's no problem. It's still correct. Is that clear? Alright. So وَتَجْدِيدُ لَهُمَا وَتَجْدِيدُ الْمَاءِ لَهُمَا. And also وَتَرْتِيبِ فَرَائِدِهِ. So the last one is what? Is to what? To go according to what? According to the fara'id, meaning according to what? The arrangement of ablution. So now what does it mean? It means that you don't perform the obligatory part of ablution and then later come and then perform what? Perform the recommended acts of ablution. Is that clear? So it has to be in what? In order, in sequence, right? So you first what? You first wash the hands like this from what? From the fingertips to what? To the wrist. Which is sunnah, but you start with it, right? And then madmada, istinshaq, istinthar. Then you what? You wash the face. That's the second what? The second act of what? The second obligatory act of ablution after the intention, right? You understand? So in that order. So you don't wash the obligatory part of the ablution. You don't finish that one and then come later to what? To do the recommended. That's not how you should do it. So that's what tartibu fara'idihi. Is that clear? Okay. Any question before we proceed?
The last one is you following it in order.
Yeah, that's the recommended part of ablution. That's the last one.
But say again, the modern in the shark. Is it true that the Prophet used to pour water? I mean, pour in the mouth, the same water, like one.
Yeah, there are some who said that you use the same water for istinshaq, right? Yeah, either that one or you renew it. It's all correct.
So, Sheikh, they said you have to do it in order. So that means if the Prophet is doing it, you do like this, you do it and bring it before you do it again like this.
Yes.
That's how they
Yeah.
I thought they did the mouth 3 times for the nose.
Yeah, anyone you do it's okay. It's correct.
Okay, but say, on the same report, that means we have to report. Some said he finished the mouth first before the nose, and some too said he used the same water for the both.
Yeah, it's all correct. Yeah. Is that clear?
No, Sheikh.
All right. So now, وأما فضائله فسبعة. وأما فضائله فسبعة, and then also that's meritorious act of what? Of ablution, right? That's fadail. So now, what is the stance of this fadail? What is the importance of this fadail?
It's to beautify the ablution.
It's to beautify the ablution. So when you did not perform it, or when you decide not to do it, the ablution is still what? It's still valid.
But not completely.
It's valid and complete, but not beautiful. Right? So when you do the obligatory and the recommended, and then fadail, then your ablution is what? Valid, complete, and beautiful. Is that clear? Yeah. All right. And then, of course, you get reward for all this, right? Because all the fadail and then the sunnah, it's what? It's part of the sunnah. So when you are doing it, you are what? You are imitating the Prophet, you have the reward for that, and then following the sunnah is also another reward, right? So you have also what? A good, complete, and valid ablution. So وَأَمَّا فَضَائِلُهُ فَسَبَعَةٌ. And also the meritorious act of ablution is what? Are 7. So he said what? At-tasmiyatu. At-tasmiyatu, that is what? To say Bismillah. So saying Bismillah is what? Is part of what? The fadail. Is that clear?
Yeah.
To say Bismillah before you start washing what? Washing the hands, or before you start the ablution. Okay? And also وَمَوْضِعٌ طَاهِرٌ. And also where you are going to perform the ablution should be what? Should be clean, right? There should not be any impurity over there, right? Because the ablution that you are performing is what is to purify yourself. So if you go and then perform ablution where there is impurities, what are you doing? I mean, it's nothing, right? So you perform ablution in a clean in a clean space or clean environment. Is it clear? So that's the second act of what? The fadail. Okay? And then we also have qillatul ma'i. So that's also to use what? Small amount of water in performing ablution. So this is also what? Part of the fadail. You should know what? You should not be wasteful when performing ablution. So if you can use 1 can to perform ablution, you should not use what? 2 or 3. Using 2 or 3, when you can use 1, it's what? It's being wasteful and what? Extravagant. And then Allah don't love what? Extravagant and then the wasteful. Alright? Allah said, Innal mubadhirina kanu ikhwana shayateen. Right? The wasteful ones, the extravagant are what? Are the friends and allies of what? Shaitan. وَكَانَ الشَّيْطَانُ لِرَبِّهِ كَفُورًا. Right. So,
the thing is, I learned when you're performing ablution, the water that comes out of it is blessing.
It's not blessing, but it wipes away your sins.
Yes.
The minor sins that you use the parts of the body to what to perform. Let's say that when you were coming here, you saw some haram things on the way, and then you were not able to lower your gaze, right? You know, your eyes fell on it for the first time, and then you really liked it, and you were not able to lower your gaze. You continue looking, right? So this is haram, all right? So when you perform ablution, what happened? When you wash the face, right? The drop of that washing, it wipes away what? That sin that you used, what? You committed. You get it? Let's say that you've said something that is not good, right? So when you rinse the mouth, it takes what? It wipes away that sins, right? So this is one of what the virtue of what? Of ablution. When you wash the parts, so that's why scholars recommend that you what? Even if you have a valid ablution, you what? You renew your ablution before every prayer.
So, but maybe you didn't go anywhere, you're just in one place, and you didn't see anything, or you didn't say anything, or you didn't even sniff out anything.
Yeah, that's it. You see, when you are at home, you think you're not seeing it. Right?
You're in one place.
Yeah, so that bar, you still have to do it.
Maybe you're in the room.
Yeah, it's still good. Even it's not only for the sins, it's also what? It's not only to wipe away the sins, but it's also what? An act of what? Worship. So when you perform with sincerity, with good intention, you get a reward. And it also takes you close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah, ablution.
So is there any report that the Prophet used to, always renew his ablution?
Yeah. The Prophet used to renew his ablution.
Every time?
Yeah. He don't stay without ablution, without a valid ablution. Yeah.
He doesn't use fajr to pray herself.
No, that's a scholar, but of course it says a lot, right? For a person to use one ablution for fajr and then use the sisha, mashallah, this is something. It means a lot, right? You know, so it's good, you know. As I said, as we discussed in our third lesson, it's when you have a valid ablution, what happens? You become conscious of Allah, right? And then also you always want to protect that ablution from what? From becoming invalid, right? So you stay away from many things. So the ablution protects you from what? From all these vices.
So what if your intention when you keep the ablution is because the weather is cold, you don't want to perform ablution? Like, you don't have that kind of pure intention. Yeah, what about that one? Does it also nullify the ablution?
Like how? I don't get.
Maybe either you are lazy to perform the ablution because you are making sure your ablution, you are keeping it. Or maybe you are going somewhere, you don't know whether you get the water or you don't get the water. And also maybe the fact that the weather is very cold, so you don't want to perform the ablution anymore. So you make sure the ablution you have. All these are not really tangible, this one, reasons, except for the second one that you don't know whether you get the water or not.
Yeah, there's no problem to protect your ablution from what? From becoming null. It's not a problem, right? But whenever you get the opportunity, renew it, right? You renew it. You don't deprive yourself from that reward. All right. So, and then he said, وَقِلَّةُ الْمَاءِ بِلَا حَدٍّ. Meaning you should use small amount of water in performing ablution. Okay, if you can use 1 can to perform ablution, don't use 2 or 3. Okay, all right. So, and then bila haddi, there's no minimum limit. There is no limit to the minimum water that you can use. So that depends on the individual, right? So if you can use 1 handful for ablution, don't use 2. Yes. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, and then also, ووضع إناء على اليمين إن كان مفتوحا, and also to place the can on your right hand side. If you have if you are using an open can, right? An open can. Is that clear? So you put that can on your right hand side. وغسلة الثانية والثالثة إذا أوعب بالأولى وبدء بالمقدم الرأس والسواك والله أعلم. So here he mentioned also the second washing and the third washing is is also recommended. Okay, sorry, it's part of the fada'il.
The third washing of?
The second and the third washing is part of is part of the fada'il. And then here we mention that washing the first washing is is obligatory. So the second washing is part of the fada'il, and also the third washing. Okay, so you can perform ablution 1, 1, 1, 1. Every part you wash it once, and then also, or you can wash it twice or thrice. Okay, it's all valid, it's all correct. So, and then we said also وَبَدْءِ بِمُقَدَّمِ الرَّأْسِ. So when wiping the hair or the head, you should start from from the hairline here, like this way. So this is also part of part of the fada'il. And then also was siwaki, wallahu a'lam. And then siwak is also using of the chewing stick when performing ablution or before you start performing ablution. And this siwak is part of the fada'il, and it's really it's really important. It has a lot of virtue. The Prophet ﷺ recommended that we use siwak. Okay, he encouraged us to use siwak at all times, before prayer, before ablution, because, and then to the extent he's saying that he said لولا أن أشق على أمتي لأمرتهم بالسواك عند كل صلاة. He said السواك مطهرة للفم ومرضاة للرب. Right? He said if were it not to overburdening my community or my ummah, I would have commanded them to use siwak before every ablution or before every salah. So here he did not want to overburden us, so he did not command us to do. But it means he really recommends us to use the siwak. Okay, and also this ablution, this hadith that says as-siwaku matharatun lil fammi mardatun lir rabb. It's also it cleans the mouth, and also pleasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And also, and then there's also another hadith in Sunnah Abi Dawud, akthartu alaykum fi siwak, right? He's saying that I've mentioned a lot about siwak, right? Akthartu alaykum fi siwak, to show that he has mentioned a lot, and then also recommend us and also encourage us to use siwak, right? So it's good. And then also the mouth has a certain scent that nothing can take it away except siwak, right? So using siwak is good. The Prophet ﷺ, when he wake up at night, he will use siwak. He has the siwak there already. When he wake up, he just use it and then perform his ablution and go back to prayer. Yeah, and then the Sahabas too will keep the siwak. Even if they have valid ablution, they will use the siwak before they start praying. So it's really good, right? Wallahu a'lam. Is there any question? Okay. وآخر دعواهم الحمد لله رب العالمين.